In this video, you can win 1,000 kroners in charging from Elton. More on that later. Hey guys, and welcome back to northern Sweden. Welcome back to Luleå, and this time I pronounced it correctly because about a week ago I was here with Polestar filming the brand new Polestar 3 on an ice track. And today, a week later, we're back here in Luleå, northern Sweden, and we're gonna drive this beautiful Volvo EX30. And this time, we have an all-wheel drive twin performance. So in this video, we're gonna do a little bit of a first impressions. We're gonna do a charging test and, just to get familiar with this car. Tomorrow though, in the next upcoming videos, we're gonna get to drive this and other Volvos on an ice track and really push these cars to the limit and beyond. So if you don't wanna miss out on those videos, please be sure to hit that subscribe button down below and also give this video a thumbs up. So with that out of the way, let's get on the road and check out the new Volvo EX30. Okay, we are now inside the Volvo EX30. So I have actually seen this car on several occasions. I was lucky to go to Italy last year to the premiere and film this car before the actual world premiere. I've seen this car several times at Volvo dealers and last time at the eCar Expo in Oslo. So I'm very familiar with the interior, but I've never had a lot of time with the car. Every time I've, spent with this car, every time I've spent time with this car has been in a rush or been in a hurry. When I was in Italy, we had, a specific time slot. When I was at the eCar Expo, it was after closing hours and the security guard wanted to kick me and my camera lady out. So now I finally have some time and I want to spend this video to just, get a proper impressions here in beautiful Luleå with this beautiful weather. So I'm gonna probably be using my sunglasses a lot of the time. But yeah, so far interior does feel nice. It feels of high quality. I'm a real fan of this Nordico trim, which is supposed to replace leather in Volvo. But this here, this is completely new. This is a new steering wheel we have not seen in Volvo before. These are brand new stocks we haven't seen in anything but the Volvo EX90, but that hasn't come to market yet. So this is the first time we've actually been able to use them, though I've been able to use them in the Polestar 3 I drove here last week. And if you want to check out my Polestar 3 videos, that will be linked in the description box down below. We have a new central screen display here that we're going to be able to play a little around with. So I think we're going to start with putting on the seat belt. And these seats do feel very, very comfortable. This armrest is in a nice position. I can find a really nice seating position. This has the new controller of the seat on the wheel. And once I start moving it, it should give me a prompt to save, but it's not doing that, which is really weird. Oh, there we go, save. And then you can save the position there. I'm not a fan of this car not having hard buttons, but let's see how this works out. On top of the screen, we have the driver information, the car's now in park, we have the range, we have the battery percentage, and all of that information. In the center part of the screen here, we have the navigation. They've set a preset route for us, which is gonna be about 1.5 hours to 2 hours driving. And then you have media, you have some shortcut buttons. They did have a presentation of the infotainment system. And there are a few things that I'm not necessarily in agreement with that they've hidden behind menus, but also other things that does look fine. So heat the steering wheel, 3 settings. I'm gonna put that down to 1, and then we're gonna collapse that menu. There are also vehicle settings here, which are shortcuts, which should let us turn off lane keeping aid, which is on, off, and then speed limit warning. But there's also a shortcut button here, or a favorite button that you can program on the steering wheel. Again, all of this is completely new, so I'm really excited to test this out and how it actually works in the real world. So that's just a little bit of an introduction. Let's get on the road and yeah, I'll tell you guys what this is like to drive. I think this car is a little better sound insulated than the Polestar 2 I drove up here a week ago till and from the event. That car was on studded winter tires. This is also on studded winter tires, and there just isn't as much road noise from studded winter tires, which do make a lot of noise in this car than that Polestar 2. So other than that, I think also the suspension setup in this car is actually quite soft and compliant. This is a car with a very short wheelbase. It's like 265 centimeters, which is actually very short. So you feel a little bit of that stubbornness over the speed bumps. You do feel a little bit of, the fast transition between the front and rear axle because of that short wheelbase. the car doesn't really have time to settle because the time from hitting the front wheels and hitting the rear wheels is just very short. But I think they managed it quite nicely. This is a heavy car, being all-wheel drive with a big battery pack, etc. I'm going to put all the specs on the screen for you guys now. But on normal driving, on the roads here are very smooth. It is actually very compliant and soft without feeling like a boat. Also, road noise seems to be nicely suppressed, as I said. And this car does have a all-wheel drive only or performance setting, but you have to dive deep into some kind of menu to turn that on. When you don't, the car is a little bit slow to respond, feels a little bit like a kickdown, but you do feel all of that 428 horsepower, which gives this car 0 to 100 kilometers an hour time of 3.6 seconds. But it's the way they've programmed the throttle here. It doesn't feel as immediate or as responsive as its bigger cousin, the Volvo XC40 Twin Performance, or now called the Volvo EX40 Twin Performance. I think it's at least called the EX40. We're gonna get to drive that tomorrow also on this frozen lake. And unless they've changed the drivetrain setup in that car, this doesn't feel as responsive. Again, we're going 60 kilometers an hour here. You can actually feel the front motor engaging. It feels like the front motor because I put the throttle down. Let's see if we can do that from 60 again. I put the throttle down. Yeah, and it feels like it's like a clutch engaging on the front axle. That is interesting. Last time I felt that was like in early versions of the Kia EV6 long-range all-wheel drive I got to drive a few years ago on the Autobahn in Germany. It just doesn't feel as responsive. It's turning a little bit here. Let's do that again. Let's go down to a little bit slower and hit the throttle. Yeah, because it starts pushing on the rear axle and then it engages the front wheels, and then you get a little bit of drift because it's putting all that power down. But yeah, steering feels positive. It is actually very light. The steering, you can probably change that somewhere in the settings, but this new infotainment system is not my favorite. I'll show you guys afterwards once we get to stop all the different settings, but steering wheel controls, I mean, there's so many sub-menus and sub-menus, and rain sensitivity. Rain sensitivity here? No, you have to, isn't there a setting here for rain sensitivity? You do that in a menu? Did they just like, we're gonna take all the worst things from a Tesla and then we're gonna put it here? It seems that way. Okay, that is just not good. Okay, we're not off to a good start, guys. We're not off to a good start. So I'm gonna drive this car, you know, gather a little bit more of impressions because the platform here seems really nice. The drivetrain, though not as responsive, it is quick once you get going, but it feels like it has to go through several gears, like shift down once, twice, third. And also this is really nice. So when you're in a menu now, it wants to prompt you the navigation with a layover on the screen here, but it just wants us to continue. But yeah, it feels positive and nice to drive. It's just this. But I want to stop, guys, and then we're going to take a deeper dive into this, and I'll show you guys exactly what I mean. This is quite insane, guys, and I'm going to show you guys over here because this is actually a ferry. Look at this, guys. This is a ferry, and that means we are actually on top of a frozen lake. That is a ferry which is frozen into the lake, which runs in the summer. But in winter, this is a public road. So instead of using the ferry in winter, we can just drive across it, which is just completely insane. Insane? Who's that guy? Hello?
Hello, hello, hello.
Volvo, Christian?
What are you doing here, Chris?
What the hell are you doing in northern Sweden, in
the middle of
Lapland,
Sweden?
on a frozen lake?
I'm just chilling, watching this
God, I
ferry.
gotta hop out. This is the most crazy thing I've ever experienced. What the heck? What are you doing with the lean? Färja. It's the lean färja. What are you doing here? I'm test driving the brand new Volvo EX30 in Lapland in northern Sweden.
I'm just out on a little hike, little
You're
walk.
just on a hike?
Little hike, but maybe I can catch a ride with you.
Where are you going?
Yeah, where am I going? I'm not quite sure.
Are you going to Luleå?
We are in Luleå.
What do you think about this, the new Volvo
The new Volvo EX30.
EX30.
Yeah.
You've driven this before. This is the first time I'm driving this car. You've had this on loan already back in Norway, right?
Yeah, yeah. I've tested extended range, single motor, and I just picked up a twin version yesterday.
Okay,
But,
so you have actually one on loan in Norway.
Yeah, correct. The Mars yellow one.
Okay.
But I haven't driven it under these conditions, so that's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Get to know the car under these conditions and really push it to
But
maybe
do you
its
have
limit.
a twin performance like
Yeah,
this one on
twin
loan?
performance,
Okay.
yeah.
So maybe you want to hop into driver's seat and just show
Definitely.
us maybe a little bit of the infotainment system, because
Yeah.
you are familiar with this and I am not.
Yeah, what do you want to see, man?
Just show me what you want to show me. Show me a little bit of the functionality. Phone on charger, okay,
Yeah,
save.
Yeah, here is if you take away this route here. So here's the home screen. You can try to zoom out so you can see where we are in the...
Yeah, that's insane. We're on top of like, show the guys if you zoom in again.
Yeah, okay, zoom in again.
We're actually, look at that, we're on top of the lake, or the river. Is it a river or a lake? Maybe
it
it's
was
a river.
river,
Lake.
yeah.
Okay, river, lake, potato, potato.
Yeah, potato, but we're gonna cross over here. But yeah, this is the home screen with navigation and your driver information on top. We can put it in drive. And we got the quick access here,
Okay.
quick controls.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, lighting, mirrors, this ambient mood lighting.
Wow, northern
so you can
lighting.
select
Okay, that's actually pretty cool.
what
but
kind
it's,
of mood you want in this
Ah.
lighting under here, and then also in the door.
I think we'll
God.
probably overlay some
Yeah.
night shots from that.
From the dark-
So,
in the dark,
so
yeah.
what is good and bad about this? I've been driving this car now for about an hour, and there are a few things that immediately aren't very good. So
Yeah.
do you want to show us a few of the really bad quirks of this car?
Yeah, we're gonna start. The good thing are actually the driving experience. That is the winning point for me. The driving experience. I really enjoy myself behind the steering
Yeah,
wheel.
me
here.
too. I think it's really good to
It's really
drive.
pleasant to drive. The negative aspects are actually how you interact with the infotainment and just accessing some of the menus. We have quick controls here, but say you want to adjust your distance to the car in
Yeah,
front.
cruise control, right? Adaptive cruise control.
So from the start menu, just car
One.
icon 1, settings 2,
2,
driving 3,
3.
and here you select your time interval.
That is not very easy because you do have dedicated buttons on the steering wheel over here.
Correct.
And you daily a Volvo XC40.
Yeah.
And that has it on the steering wheel.
Correct.
But they decided like, no, that's not good enough. We have to bury it in not only one sub-menu, but what
Yeah.
about 4 sub-menus?
Yeah, and sadly you can't connect it to this favorite button.
Yes, you have a
yet.
favorite button
Yeah.
there yet, but I think,
Because now it's only 3 options for the favorite. Oh, sorry, it was on controls. The favorite customizable button. You have only these 3 functions. I wish I could customize it and select what I want to have access to. I want to have the distance to the car in front. Maybe I would like to turn off this driver alert monitor.
yeah.
Yeah, but it's preset now. So some things are buried too deep in the menu layers.
So when
Yeah.
we were one of very few lucky who got to actually see this car in Italy last summer. We went to Milan and we got a spot each, and you were like really audible and really loud about this not having a driver display.
yeah.
And I think now in retrospect, that is the least of
Yeah.
its problems, right?
Actually, driver display are the least. This one, yeah.
That and this,
Yeah.
like, if you want to do like they've completely done like the stocks. This is now your gear selector, so you don't have like your wiper stocks here anymore. That is moved over here
Yeah.
to the left side. And if you want to do adjust the sensitivity on the you never use that like in Norway and in Scandinavia.
No.
You never use your wipers right in winter.
No, never.
So you never want to adjust your sensitivity.
No.
Do you want to show us how you do that?
You have an auto function here, but if you
Auto.
want to, you can just flip it up and then you put it in. You have the auto function here. But
Yeah, and that always works like flawless.
Flawlessly.
You never in any car ever have to adjust the sensitivity,
so
right?
if you want to select how sensitive, you guessed it correct in the menu. So
One menu, okay.
one
sure.
menu, and then settings.
Okay, yeah.
And then you go on
Controls.
controls, and then you select range sensitivity.
Ah, I mean, that is really quick
Yeah.
and easy, and especially like when you're driving
Yeah,
in winter and
especially.
it is dark
Yeah.
outside, maybe you have a little bit of ice on the windscreen and you want to adjust the sensitivity.
Yeah.
Having that in like 5 sub-menus, I think that is really, that is exceptionally smart
Yeah,
thinking.
very smart. It would be easy if you are the kind of driver that wants to, or if you're driving in a scenario where you want to select this, why can't you preset it on the favorite button?
Or better yet, why don't you have like
okay,
a stock in like in the old car where it
Yeah.
actually had
Yeah, you can twist
a
it.
sensitivity button, because now it's always on also. I don't think you can actually
You
turn
don't-
off
you-
the wipers.
You don't. You can turn it off. Yeah.
Oh, you
Yeah,
can?
yeah.
Okay, okay. So
You can just turn it off. Yeah.
because they always work flawless, right? Like you never have to turn it off. Like with the sun in our face now on this optical sensor up here, they never fail.
Never fail.
Never fail.
But beside that, it's actually a quite pleasant little thing. So yeah.
Okay, we're gonna do a charging test with this car. I think we're at around 58% stated charge. So we found this 150 kilowatt charger here. I think this is an Alpatronics unit, a very slim unit. This is very interesting. And we're using the Elton charging app. And as you saw in the intro, you can actually win 1,000 kroners if you go to the link down below and register your number if you have the Elton charging app. If you don't have it, you have to download it. But you can win 1,000 kroners if you live in Norway, Sweden, Finland, or Denmark. And it's pretty cool to be up here in the north of Sweden and to use the Elton charging app. So let's connect to this charger. This is a 150 kilowatt charger. This car peaks at 153 kilowatts, but because we are at 58%, we're not gonna get that charging speed. So let's unhook it here. This does not work. That's really interesting. Come closer here. It's actually not activated. It says closed, avstängd. This one does work though. Lul 2. We are now in Luleå. And let's see if I can do this one-handed like that. Connected. There's a lot of ice here, so it's not very easy to do. This is number 2. And then we start it with the app right there. So if you come around here, you can actually check out the screen. So we're now at 59% stated charge. We're getting 50 kilowatts right away. When we connected, we got like 75, but it went down to 50 kilowatts right away. We did navigate to this charger with the navigation system, so it should preheat the battery, though we did not get any indications of preheating. The car did not show us preheating, and yeah, look at this ice. Look at this ice here. It's really bad. So the car did not show preheating. So I doubt the car actually preheated because we're only getting 50 kilowatts at 60% stated charge, but we did everything according to the car. I don't really know what speed this car should get at that percentage. Again, first time I'm driving this car, so once I get this car in Norway next week, I can do my proper testing. We can see if it gets that charging speed. If not, we can try preconditioning properly, but we did everything as they told us to do it. Put in the navigation system. We were driving for 40 minutes before we arrived here. So it should have preheated if the car was capable of doing it and if the car wanted to do it. Okay guys, that was my first impressions of this, the brand new Volvo EX30. Just a quick first impressions, the first day of my travel up there to Luleå in northern Sweden. But thankfully, I'll get to drive this car again tomorrow in a different configuration and also on an ice track, so there are more videos to come. Really cool with the ferry here in the background. This is really cool with the signage up here. Like, it's not in service now, obviously, because it's frozen into to the lake here. But yeah, this car, like driving wise, hardware wise, is actually pretty good. I think the suspension compliance, the way it goes down a stretch of road is actually really nice. The steering feels positive, it's quick, it's precise, it has a little bit of feedback. And I also think it's relatively quiet because I drove on these roads here about a week ago in a Polestar 2 with studded winter tires, as this is equipped with, and this is a lot quieter than that car I drove. But the infotainment system, a brand new infotainment system for this car, leaves much to be desired. I'll have this car on loan again in Norway when I get back next week, so we'll really get to dive deep into this. But from what we've seen on the surface, I don't understand what they've done here. It's like they've made the car so good, they're like, no, this is too good. We have to make it a little bit worse and make terrible decisions with the infotainment system. I don't know, maybe it will grow on me. Maybe it's not as bad as it seems on the surface, but yeah, this car right now is a little bit polarizing, but I still like it. So we'll give it a benefit of the doubt till I get to test it more. So guys, that's it for today. More videos to come. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please drop me a thumbs up down below. And for more car content, as always, please subscribe. See you guys later and goodbye.